Hello everybody, welcome to another video. In this video I want to talk about the early game beginner's guide, what to focus early on, what mistakes to avoid. So I have with me here an old clanmate of mine who had a crazy account a while ago. He quitted the game, got rid of that account and came back to the game, started fresh. So we thought is a good time right now to make an early game guide now that he's going through it again. So I have with me here Redbeard. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and I'm gonna link in the description down below his Twitch channel and YouTube channel, so you guys can go check him out.
Yeah, as Skratch said, thanks for having me on this video. I'm Redbeard. Played Raid for probably about a year, maybe a little over a year now. I had a really good in-game account. Some things happened, had to get rid of it. But started back up, and I was talking with Skratch and a few other people that are on the end game, and we were discussing how quick progression is when you know the things to avoid and the things to focus on in the early game. So talked to Skratch, and we wanted to make this video to try to help all of the other raiders out there avoid those mistakes and progress really well and really fast in the early game to mid game to late game stages, and how to do that.
That's awesome. So as we were talking about, you started your account, you have bad luck on pools, and the situation of re-rolling the account you started. So it's not necessarily about the main champion you pulled and stuff. It's mainly about what champions you pull from the actual shards, and if you're considering in re-rolling that account, like is a all 1 week old account, you pull like 5-10 ancients, you haven't pulled nothing, and you might considering in making a new account to replace it, and you might be able to pull better stuff overall from there. What do you think about that thing?
Yeah, so that was another thing that came up. I definitely believe certain accounts have better RNG than other accounts. And this account that I'm playing now is actually the fourth alternate account that I rolled. And I pulled a couple of legendaries pretty fast off. And one of the things that I've noticed is that the rate of legendary pulls on this account is much higher than some of the other accounts, even my main account that I had previously would pull. So if you're new and you start out and you play for 2 or 3 days, you're not getting anything good from shards. I do believe it is a worthwhile consideration to go ahead and try to re-roll, see if you get something better on another account.
Yeah, I definitely believe, as a player that I've been playing for like 17 months, I'm 100% sure that all the pools and everything is account related in a way or another. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure what algorithm is behind all that, but it's 100% in a way or another account related. So let's just say we started the game, we got our starter. Of course, KL is the best starter. It's fine if you started with someone else. KL will just overall bring you more utility. All the starter champions are viable, they can be used end game as well. So it's not a problem if you pick someone else rather than KL. So don't go crazy for that to reroll your account just because you started with someone else rather than KL. What do you want to focus on as soon as you started the game? I would assume you want to go straight, make your first 6-star, ignore all the rest of the champions, and focus on your main champion to get to 60 as soon as possible, right?
Yeah, so yeah, the first thing you have to do is you have to get your farmer. So whatever that is, whether you're going to use Kale or another one of the starter champions, I believe every single one of them, in one way or another, are able to farm at least some level of the brutal campaign. But if you get something better, it's even better for you. But to get that farmer able to farm as quickly as possible 12-3 or 12-6 or whichever stage you're going to focus on is the number one goal you need to focus on early game.
Definitely. So I would personally avoid in investing in making more level 40s and 50s till I don't have one level 60 up and going. What do you think about so it's not only related free to play guys, okay? So low spenders, big spenders, this guide is for everybody out there. So you do have the options in game to actually go in the store at the special deals and be able to purchase chicken packs, okay? So this right here is a special offer. It's something you're not gonna get every day. It's the first time I've actually seen this pack. But what do you think about buying a pack of chickens early on to help you boost your first starter champion?
Right. So the very beginning game, if you only have one level 50 and as Skratch said, you're only focusing on bringing that one champion to level 60, you're gonna hit a brick wall somewhere in Brutal Campaign bringing that champion up, because you're going to have other champions to help support him. The amount of energy you're going to spend initially to get that champion plus other food to level 60 is going to be very high. If you decide that you want to spend money in this game early on, the chicken pack to bring you your first starter to level 60 is going to be the best value for your dollar. In addition to that, if you've already made that level 60 champion, and this might go into the next segment, go ahead and spend the extra gems to get the masteries on that champion. It's going to help you in the long run, but it'll also help you in the short run to be able to farm food quicker.
Definitely. So buying the masteries on your first champion again is something huge to do. You are doing the missions, you gotta focus on missions, challenges, and all this, which they do give you a fairly decent amount of gems early on. So even if you're free to play, you are able to save the required gems for you to be able to buy the masteries on your first champion. By doing that, it actually hugely improves the time that you farm in campaign. It makes it easier to be able to farm higher stages on campaign, so that overall will help you get the food done quicker. So what do we mean with the food is about leveling up other champions that you're gonna sacrifice into ranking up your main champions. That's what food is in this game for whoever is not familiar with that expression. So buying masteries, it costs you 800 gems. Farming masteries, when you're able to actually farm stage 15 on the Minotaur, which is the last stage, it costs you roughly around 2k energy, so roughly around 600 to 650 gems to get full masteries on a champion. And that, considering the time you gotta invest, it depends by how fast is your team to actually be able to farm the Minotaur. So a very good options early on. If you do decide to spend, buy a chicken pack, that will boost your game by a lot. Buy the masteries on the champion you decide to 6-star, probably a starter, or maybe you've been lucky and pulled something better from there. Still, we do recommend you to probably rank up a rare champion if you're not a big spender, because of the rarity of books. So books are something that upgrade the skills of a champion. You do manage to get them from missions, challenges, and end game content overall. Books are pretty expensive to buy. We do get like approximately once a month, something like that, we get a rare pack of books, which is around $5 for 5 rare books. Never use epic books into rare champions. Never use legendary books into epic champions or something like that, because you will regret it later on. Books are extremely hard to get. Do you agree on that?
Oh yes, books are the most valued commodity in this game, and you will find yourself needing books more than any other resource when you do get to end game, and you will regret the early times when you decided to use those epic books for rare champions. You're going to regret it, believe me.
Definitely. And same, if you do decide, once you made your 6-star and you're starting to actually farm food in campaign, we strongly advise you to do it while you have an XP booster up and running. So that's something you have here. It increases the XP you gain by 100%. So you can buy them from the actual shop with gems. I think it's like 140 for a 24 hours XP booster. That will save you overall a lot of energy. Now, when it's about the stages you farm, the higher the better, but never farm the boss on each particular stage, because the bosses, they always drop less stuff and cost more energy. So the stages are kind of split into brackets. So we have 12 stages overall in the game. They're kind of split into 4 brackets. So stage 1 to 1, 2, 3, it gives you pretty much the same XP. 4, 5, 6, pretty much the same XP. 7, 8, 9, the same XP. And then you have 10, 11, 12, which gives you the better XP. Of course, stage 12 will give you the better XP overall, but it's not a huge difference between them. So if you're struggling in doing the last stage on each difficulty of the campaigns, don't worry about it. You can lower down 1 or 2 stages and you'll still be getting good value overall from it. Rather than farming, for example, on stage... farming brutal stage 5, for example, better go and farm stage 12 on hard. You will be gaining more XP and probably more silver as well. Silver is a super important currency in the game. It's used to level up artifacts and do all sort of stuff with it. So silver is super important. What would you say is the importance of focusing missions, challenges, and all the quests you have early on?
So yes, this is something that I didn't focus on my first account, the first go around, and I realized how much I should have. If you want to progress, always be aware, be mindful of what your current mission is, what your current challenge is, and what steps you need to take to complete them. Also be mindful of the missions upcoming and what you need to do for those. So, for instance, there is a segment in the missions in the second part where you will have to upgrade a couple of masteries to level 4. For early game, that's not something that's easy at all. So be mindful of that when you're upgrading your Great Hall. Don't start spending and spreading tokens everywhere. Pick a couple of categories and focus on so that you can complete those missions when you get to them. The challenges are fairly simple. They're a little bit strange, and the requirements are a little bit weird in a certain way, but it's definitely something you should do. You can get free silver, free energy, free gems, books, and shards from the challenges. So definitely keep those in mind on every level and area of content you get. As far as the quests go, make sure every day you are completing all of your daily quests. Doing that is going to get you gems. It's going to get you more energy. And it's also every week or every 5 days actually is going to get you an ancient shard and an XP boost. And the XP boost in this game, as Skratch said earlier, they value it at like 140 gems. If you decide that you don't want to spend a lot in this game, do not farm your food until you get that XP boost, and then use all the energy you've accumulated throughout the week to level up your food so you can make more 6-star champions. It all depends on your level of spend, but if you're smart about how you approach the missions, how you approach the challenges, and how you approach the quests, you're going to get more bang for your buck, or you're going to get more out of your energy and gems that you spend in this game.
For sure, yeah. Now, what would you say? We did talk before about it. We definitely don't recommend you to start grinding a Minotaur for Masteries. Still, you're not able to beat one of the highest stages, stage 15 to be more specific, because it is a lot of waste of energy. I would rather recommend you to buy the Masteries with gems than farming stage 12, 13, and other lower stages. Now, what would you say about rather than preserving your gems and spending them wisely, what would you say in buying shards with the gems early on? You think that's a wise option? Let's just say you don't have a full bank of gems, so you gotta manage your gems wise. You think it's a good option to start buying shards early on with the gems to try to get more gems, or not really?
Um, I believe it's very situational. So it's going to depend on, do you have a farmer? Do you have somebody that can grind out, brutal stage 12? Um, if you don't, sure, I don't think spending gems on shards is the worst decision. Do I think you should wait for a two times event? Probably so. But in the early game, there's no reason to wait for a two times event. Pull your shards, see if you can get lucky. And there's even a lot of rare champions that are viable before you get to the end game that'll help you progress. But once you complete that initial farmer, um, I don't think you have to necessarily pull shards from gems. It
Gotcha.
can be beneficial, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, definitely. Now, talking about rare champions and stuff, we do have some pretty good champions in campaign that are farmable. So we have Valerie right here. She's pretty decent. Definitely can help you to progress a bit early on to mid game. Conqueror, pretty decent for Ice Golem if you're having any sort of issues there. If you're not pulling any other champion, he does have a block revive. So once you get into the Ice Golem, you will be familiar with what is required for you to do from there. Then we have a Spirit Host, which you can get from a stage 4 right here. Awesome champion. We have the Speed Aura, super important for Arena. We have increased attack, cleanse, awesome champion overall to help you out. We have a on stage 8 again, we have Templar, pretty solid rare champion as well, capable of a lot of crazy stuff actually. Then we do have everyone's favorite on stage 9 right here, War Maiden, super important for defense down AoE. So before you actually take a nuker into a stage, you do want her to go first, so she places that defense down, super important overall. So we do have some rare champions to be able to farm from there. What about farming gear from campaign? And for the low spenders or big spenders, how good is for them to actually buy one or two cheeky packs of gear early on?
So this is definitely one of my top lessons learned from the first go around to the second go around. The gear that you get from campaign can be decent. That's true. But the main gear that you're aiming for in this game is all going to come from dungeons. If you're very early on in this game, you are going to have a hard time farming high level dungeons. Let's say you can't even make it to stage 13, which is going to be your initial stage for 6-star gear, if I'm not mistaken. If you can't make it to stage 13, buying a gear pack might not necessarily be the worst idea. The boost that you're going to get from a 6-star piece of gear compared to a 4 or a 5-star piece of gear from campaign is astronomical. You're going to be able to progress a lot further for a lot less money if you do decide to spend from buying the gear pack than if you try to farm. Let's say you decide to farm 2,000 gear worth of dragon and you're only on stage 10. You're not going to get any 6-star pieces of gear first off.
Yeah, that's
The second,
definitely gonna be a waste from there.
it's a waste. I mean, you basically spent $20 on an energy pack, and you're gonna get no 6-star pieces of gear. You could spend $15 on one of these new gear packs that they have, and you're going to get 6 pieces of gear that are all 6-star. The top 3 always have flat stats. So your weapon, your helmet, and your shield always have flat stats. They cannot roll any percentage stats. And I would say, Skratch, you tell me how you feel about this, but I believe at least 60, 70% of the time, at least 2 out of the 3 are viable pieces to roll substats for.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of buying gear, honestly. I did bought some speed gear the other day. I did had some with crazy good substats actually, but I don't think it's a bad idea by any means buying a pack or 2 packs of gear early on to help you progress faster, because I think will give you a huge boost overall. Now, talking about the quests that we have to do, we do have here the daily quests, which gives us 10 gems per day. Every 5 days we get an ancient shard, the XP booster, how we just talked before. But then you have the monthly, which every 30 days you receive a sacred shard and a void shard right here. So definitely keep an eye and do your daily quests every single day, because it's worth it overall. Now, what do you think about unlocking the market early on? I don't think it costs you a lot of gems overall to buy every single slot. I think it does raise this up in price, like one you buy with silver, one you buy with gems, one with silver, one with gems, and stuff like that. Do you think the market is a good option overall to unlock it early?
Yes, I do. Especially the first couple of levels of the market. Um, it's very, very cheap to unlock, especially considering the gems and silver that you get early on when you first start this game. Unlock those levels. If you get to the last 2 and you're not 100% sold, wait until you see an ancient shard there or a decent piece of gear and unlock it then. But unlock as much as you feel comfortable with spending your gems and your silver on.
Yeah, so we do get in the market every month, every 30 days, we get the option to buy 5 of the ancient shards right here. So keep an eye on that. I don't remember exactly every single price to unlock the market, but I think his option is not too expensive. Sorry. So we do have the gem mine here as well, which it costs you overall to max out 1,500 gems. To gain your investment back, it takes over 100 days, so you're getting around 15 gems a day maximum. So every 24 hours you're getting 15 gems. So keep in mind that if you do play the game and want to stick around, unlocking the mine is not a bad idea whatsoever. Then we have the sparing pit right here, which I do have unlocked. So I did unlock this early on, but I never maxed it out. So this, it kind of costs you a fairly decent amount of gems to max it out. I think right now it's like what, 1.75k gems just to max it to the next tier, and then again the same situation. So I'm not in a hurry for it. To level up decent commons to level 20, it takes me 2 days with them at level 1. I think having this at max level to level up a 4-star hero to level 40 takes you around 4 days. So the only problem with it is that every time the level ticks, so in 51 minutes, I would have to re-log in back in the game and click level up so it moves over to the next part. Now, once you've done your farmer, what do you think is the best thing to do after you have your first 60? You think is the best and the wiser decision to make a core team of 6 champions at 60 and then start pushing the Minotaur to 15? That would definitely be achievable with 5 champions at 60, and then once you get the Masteries done, start focusing some dungeons. Is that right?
Yeah, I think your progression level is pretty much spot on. So another one of the big no-nos that I've wanted to touch on that I've made the mistake of the first time around is focusing too early on the clan boss. Is the clan boss good? Yes. Is it where we get the best rewards in the game? Yes. Does it matter before you reach the nightmare, ultra nightmare levels? not a whole lot. So, once you have that first farmer, your goal is going to be solely to focus on leveling up your food to make some more 6-star champions. And then I think if you can take the time to grind a little bit of dungeons for gear, so you can start pushing all those champs through Minotaur, and you can push your dungeons up to the highest level possible to get better gear. Because at the end of the day, this game is not as much about champions as it is about gear. Wouldn't you agree,
Oh,
Skratch?
absolutely. Like, I see a lot of people having a lot of crazy legendary champions, and they're just trying to force through all the content early on, but they're completely forgetting that you require gear. Every champion, no matter how good is on the ratings, can be a bad champion, a trash champion without having the good gear. So gear is what actually makes the champion be even better. So a champion without good gear is not a good champion. So we would definitely strongly advise you as well to farm the dragon. Dragon is with no doubt the most important dungeon in the whole game. We're getting the best sets overall from there. We have the accuracy sets, we have the speed sets, lifesteal sets, which are super important for clan boss. We have the frost set are not great, avenging is not great, stalwart again, endgame is a super important set, sorry. So we have the first main three right here that are super important. So dragon is the first thing you want to focus on, a bit of fire knight, a bit of golem. Spider probably is going to be the hardest dungeon overall for you, so it does require specific champions there. Hopefully you will have the luck and actually pull those champions. Faction wars again is another thing that I don't think is considering in thinking about it early on. It does require a few champions. Of course, you are able to farm with one level 60 the first couple of stages. That will actually benefit you overall to get the glyphs from there, which is another thing that can enhance your champions by enhancing the glyphs into the gear and stuff. But that's pretty much the whole thing as a beginner, guys. Get your farmer, make your core team, start focusing some campaign gear. Once you get some campaign gear for all your champions, move into some of the dungeons, specifically dragon. We do recommend you to try and farm at least stage 15 to 16, preferably 16, because you're not gonna get the green shards from there and bruise anymore, so you will be only getting gear. You won't be wasting energy. Stop focusing towards clan boss early on, because the rewards you're getting from the low difficulties of the clan boss are honestly nothing. So the best rewards start from here: brutal, nightmare, ultra nightmare. Even brutal is not as great, you can only get void shards and epic books overall, but hard, normal, easy, honestly you can skip off, stay on the bench, work on your champions, get the food done, and that's it pretty much. Use your gems wisely, open the mine, get the masteries if you have to. If you are a spender, you can buy some chickens, a set of gear to help you progress faster. If you're free to play, use everything wisely, because every single resource is super important in this game. Now, that was it for this guide, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Redbeard, thanks a lot for being here with us, buddy. Your help is greatly appreciated.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate everybody stop and take a listen, and stay tuned for more coming soon.
A pleasure, buddy. Appreciate you guys watching. If you did enjoy the video and found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, see when we upload next, thumbs up, and I'll see you all soon on another video. Till then, peace out and take care.